As I speak to you today, we are seeing surging pandemic conditions around the world, in the United States, and in our local area, the District, Maryland, and Virginia. It is in this environment, as conditions deteriorate, that we have made extremely difficult decisions about how the spring semester will unfold. From the first decisions last winter to this present moment, our first commitment is to the health and safety of our community in the context of an uncontrolled pandemic. We have sought to bring this entire community, more than 26,000 people, our students, faculty, and staff, through this pandemic. Few of us have experienced anything like this, a lethal virus that is unchecked and spreads exponentially. It has taken the lives of more than 250,000 here in the United States and more than 1 million worldwide. Any attempt on November 16th to project to mid-January and beyond is provisional. I will outline what we think will be a responsible way forward, but we are entering what we expect will be the most difficult months of the pandemic. We will monitor the status of the pandemic throughout November and December to determine whether we can achieve our goals for the start of the spring semester. Once the spring semester is underway, we will continue to closely monitor and, when necessary, adjust our approach. I will begin by describing the approach for our undergraduates and then our graduate and professional students on our 3 campuses, the main campus, law campus, and medical campus. For our undergraduates, there are 2 questions that we seek to answer at this time. How many students can we safely bring to our residence halls? And how much in-person classroom experience, what we call hybrid learning, can we provide? Our first decision is to bring back to campus the members of the senior class, the class of 2021, who will require on-campus housing. We estimate that 500 seniors will need housing on campus, which will double the number of on-campus residential students in the spring. We cannot plan to bring more back at this time. We will monitor conditions throughout the early weeks of the semester, and if there is any possibility to invite more students back into residence, we will try to do so. I know this decision is disappointing, especially for the members of the class of 2024, our first-year students, and for our transfer students. In a moment, I will describe an on-campus opportunity we will plan on providing for the class of 2024 this coming summer. But let me now turn to the second question, our mode of instruction. First, for our undergraduates, all classes in the spring will be offered virtually. We plan to deliver some courses in person on campus, what we call hybrid, for seniors and residents on campus and those seniors living in the DC area. These in-person elements of courses may be introduced as pandemic conditions permit. The members of the first-year class, the class of 2024, were working very hard to develop a new, special, residential summer semester designed to extend the opportunity for you to be on campus together as a class to forge new connections and explore life on campus. It will be optional for all members of our first-year class. The details will be shared with you by our provost, Robert Groves, and the deans of your schools. We hope this summer semester will provide you with a residential experience as you move forward into your sophomore year. We are planning for our law, graduate, medical, and nursing students to have virtual courses with some hybrid elements. All of our students will be receiving specific, detailed information about the hybrid approaches for their school or academic program. And our School of Continuing Studies has previously announced its intention to be virtual in the spring. We continue to operate under Reopen DC, the guidelines of the District of Columbia, and will be submitting our plans for acceptance by the DC government. As I just mentioned, and is clear from national reporting and organizations tracking the pandemic, the conditions of the COVID-19 pandemic are now dramatically worse. Let me take you through what's happening and share sources we track at Georgetown. The current state is the worst since the beginning of the pandemic. We have seen an accelerating rise in daily cases. Over the past 14 days, we have seen the highest number of recorded daily cases in the United States since the beginning of the pandemic. We have learned over the past 8 months there are two critical indicators that follow increases in daily cases. A few weeks after an increase in cases, we should expect to see an increase in the number of hospitalizations. And after an increase in hospitalizations, we see an increase in the number of deaths. The current surge in daily cases began approximately 4 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we began to see increases in hospitalizations. Hospital capacity is a finite and quickly diminishing resource. We are experiencing well over 1,000 deaths a day. We are seeing rising infection rates here in the DMV region, a 54% increase in the district. In Maryland, the number of cases has doubled over the past 14 days, and on Friday, the highest number of new cases since the start of the pandemic. And in Virginia, a 34% increase. One crucial metric is the R rate, or the reproduction number, how transmissible the virus is at a particular moment. An R rate above 1 is a serious problem. It means every person who is infected will transmit the virus to at least one other person, making a chain of transmission that is very hard to stop. As I shared with you last week, the replication number is above 1 in 49 states and the District of Columbia. Consider where we were 3 months ago. Half of all states were under 1%. One other indicator is to track how the pandemic is impacting other parts of the world. For example, if we look to Europe, where they are experiencing another surge, countries like the UK, France, and Germany, the Czech Republic, Belgium, have imposed new national restrictions and lockdowns. Spain has declared a new state of emergency. This past week, Italy saw the highest number of COVID-19 cases in 6 months. No doubt each of you has your own approach to staying abreast of the latest developments. I have shared a number of these approaches over the past months. One, the COVID-19 dashboard, developed and provided by Johns Hopkins, is often cited. A second, provided by the New York Times, which includes a map of the country. A third, COVID Act Now, which colleagues from Georgetown contribute to. We work alongside 5 partners, including Stanford and Harvard. COVID Act Now also produces a map which tracks 5 key indicators: daily new cases, infection rate, positive test rate, ICU headroom used, and tracers hired. A fourth, COVID exit strategy, also provides a map. And a fifth, the COVID Tracking Project, supports some of the resources I have already identified, providing an important repository of data. The COVID Tracking Project publishes its data each day. There is a common conclusion coming from these resources. Pandemic conditions in our country have deteriorated. The spread of the virus is accelerating. We expect the most difficult period of the pandemic to emerge as we enter into the winter months. The Georgetown University community comprises 26,000 people, 17,000 students, just over 5,000 faculty, just under 4,000 staff. Each day, 3/4 of our community will come to our campuses and return to their homes in the DMV. What happens on our campuses and in our region is inextricably linked. We cannot separate the impacts. We are in an urban context. We are situated in a densely populated neighborhood of 15,000 residents. We recognize a special relationship to the neighborhoods next to the university. SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19, is spread exponentially. Worse, the best estimate is that 40% of those infected are asymptomatic. That is, the ones spreading the virus do not even know they are doing so. They have no symptoms and may not develop them at all. I wish to emphasize the strength of our public health program. We could not have on campus as many people as we do without an exceptional public health infrastructure. Over these past few months, we have built a public health program resonant with that of a small municipality. I have shared this graphic with you before, adopting a well-known visualization for managing difficult challenges. Our challenge now, as we face these worsening conditions, is to ensure the continuing strength of our framework and how it can be expanded for the spring. The most significant aspect of our public health framework is our testing protocol, which is followed by appropriate contact tracing, quarantine, and isolation. The best practice in testing, frequent and universal surveillance testing, 2 tests per week of every member of our community, including asymptomatic individuals. We immediately test anyone with symptoms, but the best practice involves routine, mandatory surveillance testing of every member of your community. I cannot stress enough the all-essential fact to be acknowledged. This virus spreads exponentially and is doing so now at an accelerating rate. As I said before, we're trying to bring a Georgetown University community of 26,000 through a pandemic. 3/4 of our community on the main campus and virtually all of our law and medical campuses come to our campuses and return to their homes in the DMV every day. And recall that the best estimate is that 40% of the people spreading the virus are asymptomatic. That is, the ones spreading the virus do not even know they are doing so. And we know that spread in younger populations leads to spread in older, more vulnerable populations. What is out in the DMV will be here on campus. What is here will be brought out to the DMV. There is no way to contain spread with that flow in and out of campus. We honor our relationships to our neighborhoods and to our broader community. I fully recognize at the same time the frustrations we all experience as students, parents, faculty, and staff. I know that we are all weary of this pandemic, the disruptions and restrictions on our daily lives, of how much it has upended our routines. No one wants to be faced with the choices needed to maintain a safe environment and educational excellence, knowing these choices mean that not everyone can return yet to campus life. These are profoundly hard decisions that I hope we don't have to make again. But we do have to make them now. Each institution of higher learning throughout the world grappling with its own circumstances and making provisional choices as all of us face this pandemic. Inherent in our mission as a Catholic and Jesuit institution is a recognition of our interdependence, of the responsibility that we have to care for one another and for our communities. Last week, I shared with you the words of St. John Paul II in describing our commitment to solidarity. Solidarity is not a feeling of vague compassion or shallow distress at the misfortunes of so many people, both near and far. On the contrary, it is a firm and persevering determination to commit oneself to the common good. That is to say, to the good of all and of each individual, because we are really responsible for all. Each one of us is connected to others. We are connected to our families and friends, our neighbors, and our broader communities. There is a difference that each one of us can make. Our choices make a difference. Our care for one another matters. This is what it means to realize a commitment to the common good. Over these many weeks, I have expressed my gratitude and appreciation to so many of you as we have sought to navigate this challenging moment together. I remain deeply grateful for the commitment and care that our community has brought to this moment. These next few weeks and months are going to present new challenges. There is no community more deeply committed to bringing forth the care and compassion that this moment demands of us than our community, than all of you.